3 days before Bitcoin futures are to be traded on the Chicago Board Options Exchange, and just following the announcement that another established U.S. exchange, the CME Group, will be adding Bitcoin futures to their listings, a new wave of commentary, bearish predictions, and dire warnings are emerging from bankers, analysts, and economists. Lynn for Coutts Bank is quoted as saying,
"Its sharp rise brought back memories of the dot-com bubble back at the turn of the century. Our view at Coutts is that, as an investment asset, electronic currencies like Bitcoin have nothing but sentiment backing them up."
Curiously, there was an absence of commentary or major news outlet publications to point out that Chauvin's comments regarding sentiment backing up the Bitcoin valuation is exactly the same force that maintains the value of all fiat currencies and the majority of investment instruments. Adding his voice to the call for caution and skepticism of the emerging Bitcoin is economist Sir Howard Davies, chairman of the Royal Bank of Scotland.
"All the authorities can do is put up the sign from Dante's Inferno, 'Abandon hope all ye who enter here,'" Davis said according to The Guardian, which reported the comments. "That's what's needed, and it needs to come from the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank and the Bank of England at the same time."
We concur with Sir Howard Davies' assessment that the sign from Dante's Inferno should be a mandatory disclosure and posted outside the doors of the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and the Bank of England, as well as the branch of every bank worldwide, to remind the public that none of these institutions have their well-being at the heart of either their policies or their business practices, unless we define citizens as a massive corporate institution whose health and well-being supersedes all concerns of the rights of the individuals who live and work within these countries and economic zones. It will also serve as a reminder to every member of the public that they should have a healthy doubt not just about investments such as shares, stocks, bonds, and other traded financial instruments, but a healthy doubt as to the objective value of the currency in which they are obliged to transact the business of their daily lives. Following Bitcoin settling a new record of $14,000, came the disclosure of a hack in Slovenia which was reported to represent millions of dollars worth of Bitcoins being stolen. Despite this news, Bitcoin moved to $15,000 early on December 7th. While analysts are baffled, shocked, or simply view this as part of the madness of a bubble, not a single one of them took the time to point out that Wells Fargo's fraud against its own depositors and customers is still not entirely known, with $80 million in excess insurance charges on car loans that it agreed to refund, $3.5 million in fraudulent fees, assessed through fraudulent sales practices, forcing Wells Fargo to pay out $142 million to settle a class action suit, and $185 million in fines to federal officials for opening the unauthorized accounts that generated these fees. It is understandable that, comparatively speaking, the hack in Slovenia was far more significant than the institution-wide fraud that continues to be sanctioned by the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, and all of the governing institutions and bodies that are responsible for their oversight. We invite you to continue to follow the Bitcoin news, where you will find exciting and interesting insights on the current trends involving Bitcoin, and we have absolutely no doubt in the not-too-distant future you will see either Bitcoin or its architecture being co-opted by the very people who are currently denouncing it. This has been your Bitcoin Moment.
Hello, my name is Mr. Feechaser, of Feechaser, Done Him, and Drop Him, the firm representing Cusper, the Exploit Me Now network and related enterprises. The Bitcoin Moment you've just viewed is part of our news division and therefore falls under the legal category of light entertainment. No member of Cusper, the Exploit Me Now network or related enterprises has, at the time of this recording, any holdings in or related investments tied to Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. The content of the preceding video was informational in nature and contained commentary that was based on facts already in publication worldwide by news agencies. Specific references were provided, except where it relates to Wells Fargo, as a list of those support documents and publications would run to several thousand pages. If you wish to correspond with us, we do require proof that you are a lawyer. A bar license or registration are not sufficient for this purpose, as you may just be some schmuck with a law degree. The only form of proof that we will accept is a certified copy of your death certificate accompanied with confirmation of your having represented a client or clients before a duly recognized court or administrative body during the period following its issuance. We do give notice in advance that all content in this and other videos fall under the categories of fair commentary, public personalities, parody, and painful facts. This has been a standard disclosure with no insults or entertainment value intended. Thank you.